people say what goes in must come out. But when we say it out loud, it becomes something that we can almost view as we're saying it. It's right there in front of us, staring back at us.
The event is a unique culmination of several different aspects. An extreme lean on vulnerability, a community aspect where people are showing up to hold space for an unknown. Healing aspect where we're overcoming and we're acknowledging an awareness to past traumas or current traumas even. And the social aspect of, hey, taboo subjects, mental health, wellness, it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be scary. We can do it and we can have fun with it.
I got my brother, Mr. Denzel Herrera-Davis. You feel me?
Appreciate you having me.
He was supposed to be on the first one, but now he here. So I'm so glad you're here.
Why you always bringing up old stuff?
I'm just saying, you know.
But I appreciate you having me.
So he is the creator of Cr8 the Space. You're kind of like a life coach in a sense. You sit down with men of color and you have them kind of like talk out their stories. Is that how it kind of goes?
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of mistakes in my life, so that adds a lot of content to my repertoire. So I have a lot of good conversations with men of color around the nation, and really, I think a lot of it was just born like out of my own struggle, like I said. And I won't take credit for this quote I heard once, but it goes a little along the lines of, there's pain is the difference between the way things are and the way you want them to be.
Come on now.
And so I say what I'm doing is largely based out of, or coming from, building from my pain. Which is artistry in a sense, right?
It is.
It is.
Yeah. It is. I've been looking and, I recently did a post on, I don't know if you've heard his name, but Bryce Gowdy, he committed suicide. He was a 17-year-old African-American male who committed suicide because he was suffering from depression. He was in poverty. He was taking care of his family. He was the only one taking care of his whole family. Yeah. He was a rising football star in Florida, but he was dealing with mental illness. He was suffering from depression, and he ultimately committed suicide. So what are your thoughts when you hear that young African-American or Latino men are committing suicide because they just can't handle what's going on in their personal lives?
Woo. I like how the beat dropped out on that question, though. That is a very poignant question, because I think you can look at it from many different perspectives. And one of the things you have to be cognizant of is that the folks who have experienced this or gone through this, the individuals themselves and their families, we can't empathize. We don't know what exactly they were going through. And that in and of itself can become a problem. That isolation, that feeling of nobody understands my struggle, that I'm in this thing alone. That almost becomes, a huge, uphill battle in and of itself. And so when you get to that point where you're dealing with sickness or ailments or inability or whatever the case may be, and then on top of that you feel like you're alone in this shit and that nobody's got you, I think that's where you start to reach that tipping point. And it's unfortunate, because if we felt safe as Black people to reach out and ask for help and say, hey brother, I'm not doing so well, I need some help. Right. I think collectively we could avoid a lot of those situations.
Right, but instead you got folks out here gossiping and talking about you like a dog when you suffering, and it's not right. When people can come to you and say like, I'm feeling a certain type of way. I'm the type of person I won't even ask you for $5. If I'm broke, I'm just gonna be broke. For somebody to come to you and be like, I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling a certain type of way. That takes a lot of bravery and courage.
It sure does. And this is a joke. My mother tells me this all the time. But my uncle, my mother's brother, says it's not about how you feel, it's about how you look. And so in today's society, we're caught up in this world of perception, right? It's like you see all of the things that people want you to see, but you don't actually get the real. You don't understand underneath it all was pain, struggle, or hardship, or whatever the case may have been, to get to that point where that person is now willing to share with you.
Right.
And so we get caught up in this world where nothing is real.
It's not.
And then we
fake.
bottle up all the shit that, excuse my language, we bottle up all that shit that doesn't look right or doesn't feel right or perfect.
Yeah.
We stomach that, and then we just give people snippets. And
Right.
that's
Right.
just, it's not real.
Right.
Right.
And so on that note, we're gonna do like a little tribute. I normally do them on Durags and Conversations. I was actually supposed to interview this rapper, but unfortunately he passed away on New Year's Eve.
Damn.
He was going
Rest in
to a
peace.
concert. No, he was performing at a concert in Atlanta, and I guess after he finished performing, he was shot and killed. So I wanted to do a little tribute. He's from my city, Richmond, and
Okay.
so like this is him talking about him talking to the youth and you know, premiering one of his songs. So let's get into that tribute.
All right,
Radio
let's do
Shack,
it.
hit it.
Yeah. I cannot fuck with these niggas. I swear to God, I'm not stuck with these niggas. I put my trust in these niggas. They love me for dead. I can't live with these niggas. I swear it's okay, and I swear it's okay, and I swear it's okay. Run a check up today, and I did it my way. I cannot fuck with these niggas. I swear to God, I'm not stuck with these niggas. I put my trust in these niggas. They love me for dead. I can't live with these niggas. I swear it's okay, and I swear it's okay, and I swear it's okay. Run a check up today, and I did it my way. Just hollered at Archie, told me they fucking with you. Like behind bars in them cold cells, but they running with you. Niggas came home and asked for more favors than a broke stripper. Your bitch naked in my bedroom and I won't tip her. Any day on a new wave, just how I'm feeling today. Racing, I'm setting the pace. I send a million a day. 50 set me in the rave. Money all over the place. Just gotta get in this way. Lately been living my way. In my condo out of state. She can't believe it's my place. Belief in your bag. Chasing cash, chasing cash, chasing cash. I'm really living that shit and I'll get a bag. How to wait to my stash. I'm going back out for this shit and back in my past. Shit I couldn't have. I'm going and grabbing this shit.
Sending all my condolences, my
mean.
prayers, my love to his family and close friends. I actually sent this to one of his close friends, which is, I believe his name is Stu City. I hope I'm saying that right. And he loved it, so that really gave me like the, you know, to put it on this show. And so I got a couple of statistics on black and mental health. And, you know, I'm just going to put them out there. You know, this is what is going, this is what it's been said. This is, I believe, from according to the U.S. HHS, which is the same website I got the statistics for the health. Adult black African Americans are 20% more likely to report psychological distress than adult whites. Black/African Americans living below poverty are 3 times more likely to report serious psychological distress than those living above poverty. Adult black African Americans are more likely to have feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and worthlessness than adult whites. And while black/African Americans are less likely than white people to die from suicide as teenagers, black/African American teenagers are more likely to attempt suicide than white teenagers, 8.3% versus 6.2%. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, don't stop the list there. I'm going to add to it because less than 50% of African Americans seek out or receive mental health services compared to their white counterparts. And within that, almost less than 40% of black men seek out mental health services when compared to
So
their
why
female
is
person.
that?
Why?
Why do you feel like we can't
Yeah.
just come out and get some help?
Oh,
Is it hard?
Man, it was
Do you
written
feel
that
like we're
way.
being judged? We're being criticized?
All of that.
I
Keep on. You
mean-
can,
I mean, okay,
Are
so
we
I
being-
could ball it up. I had an experience once, and I was trying to level with my guys, and I said, hey, you know, I'm having some problems. I'm thinking about, like, I'm having some thoughts, and I'm not some. They weren't crazy thoughts. I was just thinking, like, you know, I was just feeling down about. It was just like school and life in general, and they were all like, man, whatever, come on. And that was
Kinda
their
suck it up.
reaction. Yeah. And I just remember feeling in the moment like, dang, I can't really talk to, talk to them about it. And they don't want to hear about it. And so I guess it's not something we talk about.
It's real. It's real. And I think, you know, as a people, we've been socialized in that way that, you know, strength is all you can do because as a people, we've had to endure so much that any signs of quote unquote weakness is a disability. And then you have to ask the question, all right, well, who associated what with weakness in the first place? And, you know, how did we get to a point where our feelings, our emotions, our pain, our struggle is something that we have to hide because it is one, not a valid or a appreciated part of our story, but two, as a man, it just makes you a weak man, and both of which are fallacies.
Exactly.
But we're guilty of it. Honestly, we are as a group.
We do it to each other.
We do it to each other.
That's very true.
Because I know so many women, and this is anecdotal, of course, but I know so many women who, in a professional space, for example, the medical space, who would be like, oh, there are not enough of us here that even if I have differences with you as a black woman, I'm still going to come to the table and support you and bang on the table for you, because you and I, sister, we're part of a dying breed. And so because of that, we're going to do this together. When I don't get that same sentiment from men. I get the territorial, you know, I got to do it my way because I got to eat, and my family's got to eat, and I got to protect my family, and I got to, provide for my family.
The lone line.
Yeah.
Which we need to stop doing that, because we're stronger together than apart.
So much stronger together.
Okay.
Divide and conquer came about for a reason. It works.
All right. So did some of this kind of incorporate into Create the Space? How did Create the Space come about?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, and again, I referenced, my pain is my struggle, and that was where it got me to where I am. But it took me a humble, almost 9 months to a year of just giving myself enough space to get to know myself again and say, well, damn, excuse my language, sorry. There is a lot that I don't know about myself because I've spent so much time trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to chase success by somebody else's measure, and that I haven't stopped and said, what is it that I actually think, feel, want, desire, and what is it that will make me happy at the end of the day? And until I could do that, I couldn't be real enough to say that I wasn't happy. I was chasing success by somebody else's measure, and I was never going to get to happiness without doing that.
So it sounds like it starts with self-reflection.
I would say, yeah, it starts with not just self-reflection, but honestly sitting in your own ish.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, so often people are just hurried to get through the funk, the pain, the downside of life, right? It's like, oh man, I'm not feeling good. I need to get through this. But the reality is the ups and downs are both a part of life. And so we can't get infatuated with the ups. We have to appreciate and acknowledge and sit with the downs and understand what the lessons in those downs are. And until we get comfortable equally in those places to where we say, all right, well, this might not be something I appreciate about myself now, but because I've sat with it long enough, I can, one, acknowledge it and then do something about it. Because otherwise, we just run around ignoring the challenges that we have and then take them from one place to the next, one relationship to the next, etc.
That's true. So do you have any social media that people can contact you at?
I do. And I got to get better at it. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, you do. Because I've contacted you several times and never got a response. But go ahead.
Yeah, always bringing up old stuff.
I'm just saying.
So for people out there who want to get a little bit more about what we're doing, you can follow me on IG at create_the_space. You can also find my website, which was newly updated, Cr8thespace.com.